Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Education Day as part of our Breakbulk Middle East Digital Special. My name is Liz, and I'm the Senior Content Producer here at Breakbulk. We're so delighted to have you all here joining us today, whether you're dialing in from home, your office, or even your educational institution. Welcome to this session on empowering the next generation of Breakbulk professionals. We would like to take this opportunity to thank the Ministry of Energy and Infrastructure for their support and patronage, as well as our education partners who are all in attendance today. So a big thank you to the Arab Academy of Science, Technology and Maritime Transport, Higher Colleges of Technology, Middlesex University Dubai, Abu Dhabi Maritime Academy and the Jordan Academy for Maritime Studies. We have a brilliant lineup of speakers today who will be sharing their insights on working in the industry and their top tips for success before coming to the stage live to answer your questions for you. Please do use the Q&A tab on the right-hand side for any questions that you'd like to ask our speakers as we go along, and include the name or the company as well, just so we know who you're directing the question to. So just a couple of points to note before we get started is the webinar will be available on demand after the session. And as always, we are reliant on technology, so please bear with us if we have any technical glitches. So to start us off, as we're not able to be together in person today, I just wanted to show a short video highlighting our Breakbulk Middle East Education Day in 2020. So those of you who are new to Breakbulk can see some highlights from the show.
Actually learned a lot about the industry, and something I noticed is how we're actually growing as a community in the maritime industry, which I love. I think it's time for us to step forward and add new innovations to the maritime industry and kind of show the world that we can exceed their expectations when it comes to Arab, especially Arab women like me.
So hopefully that provides a flavour of what our students experienced last year, and we hope you'll all be able to join us live again at one of our Breakbulk events soon. So I'd now like to introduce our first speakers who will be answering the question, why consider a career in project cargo logistics?
When you stare at sea, you can see how deep is your horizon. And this is exactly what happened when you realize and recognize the importance of the maritime sector. And this important sector should be built on a strong technical foundation. And we have to rely more in our new generation and in our new candidate. Here in UAE, we're really pleased to have a strong maritime academies, which we assure that they will provide us with a strong maritime generation who will lead and shape our maritime future. As you know that UAE has achieved a leading ranking at the global maritime competitiveness indicators, and to maintain our position or even to achieve a better position, we really need a strong local and high caliber experts at the maritime sector. And that will come by our passionate students whom will spend their time and their effort to build their caliber and build their professional skills to lead the sector. To our students, wherever is your passion, believe me, you can link it with the maritime sector. And if you do that, you will be one of your kind in your career. So believe on it and go for it. Thank you.
The Arab Academy for Science, Technology and Maritime Transport branch in Sharjah is working on developing the future cadre in the shipping industry. Our future cadre, our graduates, will be major contributor to the shipping industry worldwide and in the Middle East region. Because of they are fully acquainted with the cargo operations, with the ship operations, with the logistics, and that is our plan to be a major contributor in the local economy, as the shipping transportation is transporting 90% of the worldwide commodities. That's why it is a big contributor, or it is the major contributor in the components of the blue economy that we are working to boost in the country and in the Middle East region. That's why we are working on developing the students' skills, intellectual skills, and their critical analysis in order to be a caliber would be able to meet the future challenges, especially that we are living in the digitization era and everything now is working virtually, starting from Internet of Things, blockchain, big data, and the data analysis, which had been turned into a major player in the shipping industry. It has an impact on the shipping industry from its main components. It had an impact towards the autonomous ship. We have 4 levels of autonomy in the vessels in the near future, or even in the current status. We have the autonomous vessels. We have the smart ports. We have the cybersecurity, which is the main concern of such amounts of exchange of data. That's why we have to graduate a smart graduate who will be able to deal with these new variables and the changing worlds. Our graduates will be able to work in the cargo operations, in cargo handling, and in cargo logistics, since that their training program will include training on board, through which the students will get fully acquainted with the cargo operations on board the vessel, and he will be fully acquainted with the cargo operations on the shore side. Such cargo operations will be covering regular dry cargo or oil cargo, which is the liquid cargo, or the gas cargo. In addition to being on a solid background on the cargo economy and the cargo logistics, so that's why the career in the cargo handling and the cargo operations sector is very promising for our future students.
I have great challenges and passion to work in a marine field and to be a leader in the maritime organization. In addition to that, the significant opportunities and support that I have received from my country as an Emirati woman in a previous field in maritime, to make the woman equal with the men and in the society, and prosperity as well advancement of the state economy. Shipping is an ideal occupation for young people seeking something exciting and different to just working in an office, which is in the long run will also lead to an enjoyable and well-paid executive career in a major international industry. A ship is a unique working environment, and those working in a board ship often develop lasting friendship with their colleagues and have a stimulating life, which is different to experience of many people working ashore. Qualification and experience gained at sea are also readily transferred to other industries outside merchant shipping. Career opportunities extend to thousands of shore-based management jobs, which require people with seagoing experience. A virtual part of the global economy, the marine industry is reasonable for carrying over 90% of the world trade without sea transport. The world economy would collapse. Joining the marine industry means becoming a bigger picture, not only of building boats and driving passion super yacht races, but in supporting economic business and people all over the world. The marine industry is also paving the way of ethical industry practice and environment responsibilities of business and economic. So 90% of everything we own was brought to us by ship. In fact, some of the biggest ship in the world can carry up to 18,000 shipping containers, full of clothing, electronic equipment, and much more. However, for such a major worldwide industry that is so essential for commerce, not a lot of people consider about shipping as a valuable career option. Whatever we have previous sailing experience or you are completely new to commercial shipping, the industrial has such a diverse range of roles that they are something about out there to suit all the skill sets. The opportunities within the shipping industry are evolving too far. For example, once viewed an industrial that lagged behind modern technologies, there are new roles available in the ballast water management, ensuring the safety water, taking ballast in the boat, digital and social media marketing. There are also environment rules, shipping in the least environmentally damaging form of commercial transport. And thanks to new initiatives that has been sustainable reduction in marine pollution over the last 15 years. Seafarer makes a massive impact in both their immediate vessel, but on the world trade too. In most jobs, it can be a struggle to see a value both being a seafarers, make it obvious. Even if you're not much of a seafarers, their number show base roles out which can be perfect for you. Thank you.
Thank you so much to all of our speakers for their remarks. Hopefully their presentations have provided insight and inspiration for the next steps in your career. So we'll now move on to the second part of the session, which will bring together industry experts from key companies in the region who'll be providing insights from across the supply chain and a sneak peek into what a day in the life of working in their sector looks like. We will then have these speakers joining us live for Q&A, so please do ask your questions in the Q&A tab and we'll get to them shortly.
A typical day in our field and my personal experience would be first starting looking at the plans, looking at what we have to execute this week, this day, and this month. Verifying these plans with my team and verifying these plans with the stakeholders for each project. Information is very important. In a normal day, the plans falls into place, all stakeholders are aligned, and everything goes to an extent smoothly. In a challenging day or on a busy day, your plans change due to this dynamic environment in the EPC business. Too many interface to align them, it's very challenging. So usually we face different last minute changes in the plan, and then we have to react quickly and realign ourselves and realign all the stakeholders to execute eventually the job and deliver the right results for the project. What I love about this job is that there is no routine. Every day there is a new challenge, and we need to address this challenge, and we need to think outside the box, and we need to challenge ourselves, challenge our team to be very efficient and find solutions, the best solutions. There is a lot of opportunities for innovative solutions as well. And this keeps the job alive, keeps you excited for the next day, what sort of troubleshooting you have to do, what sort of solutions, how much you can reach your potential. The benefits of working in our field is that you will be exposed to a lot happening internationally, globally. You will learn a lot about rules and regulations and international rules and regulations that have to do with the logistics in different countries. You have to learn these information so you can execute your job, and the more you know, the better you do as an execution, and the better results you will achieve and feed your internal stakeholders and client, and eventually the client. Usually we go out and look for when we look for new hires, we look at the quality of the person. First, importantly, and most importantly, is that the people that we look for to have self-drive and to have determination, to have patience, and to love their job. They have the passion and enthusiasm to do their job. The logistics, like probably many other fields, has also its own kind of difficulties. But if you don't have passion for your job and you're not enthusiastic, you can easily drop the ball. And eventually you will not succeed in this line. And these qualities that we look for, we start with the young age, and then you develop the experience. At the end of the day, logistics is logic, and if you have common sense, you will succeed. If any of the students is interested to join our company and our field, please keep an eye on our website, on our LinkedIn page. We publish all the vacancies, see what fits, apply for the job, and we will get back to you as soon as possible. The key advice that I have for the students and the young generation: always look for a challenging job that will make you reach your potential. It will challenge you enough to bring the best out of you. And this is the way you will learn, and you will learn more until you reach your potential, and the sky then is your limit.
My career started as a receptionist in a small freight forwarding company. I was doing a temp role there for a couple of weeks and then got asked to join as a trainee freight forwarder. So very quickly I started to deal with my own client base, and then moved to be assistant to an operations director and then managing director. Then I ventured into project management and worked on some projects in the Caspian. Later on, I started to manage a team and then became a deputy department manager when I was asked to join DHL, where I was part of the team that set up and relaunched the industrial projects division. I moved on to be country management for the UK, then global head of business process, looking at the way that we operate and optimize standardizing all of the projects and processes across the world. Then I was head of operations and implementation. So I was blessed to be able to travel to many countries around the world, implementing new projects and looking at ways we could structure and optimize the business. Then most recently, I took on a project director role in Saudi Arabia, and then became managing director of DHL Global Forwarding in Saudi Arabia, and then took on a cluster CEO role, which now sees me responsible for Bahrain, Saudi and Kuwait. I think the big thing that I love about my job is no 2 days are the same. I have a motto: expect the unexpected, and that's really what I live by. We have so many elements of the job. Some days you're an accountant, some days you're a project manager, some days you're a referee, some days you're a salesperson, some days you're all of them put together. But the variety, the excitement and the passion of my team and meeting the people that I do is second to none, and I wouldn't change it for the world. I think the benefits of working in the freight and logistics industry is the fact that you have so much variety and you learn so many different life skills as well as different elements of the job. As I mentioned previously, you look at selling, so you look at profit and loss. You have the operational aspect, and I was blessed to start in operations. So I've come from the bottom up, and I've cut files, I've shipped shipments, I've been on the key side while we've loaded cargo, I've been at the airport when we've offloaded charters. So the variety and the widespread of talent and tasks that you cover is phenomenal. The key skills I'd be looking for new people coming into the company is a passion for the industry, determination, hard work, bravery, and people who are willing to learn and go the extra mile. I think you can learn so much in the industry, but to have those key, the key talents and I would say the drive and determination is really, really important. I would encourage anybody who's interested to find out more to reach out to me via LinkedIn or via my email. We're always ready to look at new talent, and we'd be very happy to bear anybody in mind for any new opportunities and positions that come available. I think the best advice I would have is never give up. Follow your dream, be brave, take opportunities that are given to you, and don't be afraid to ask for help. Don't be afraid to ask questions. I learn new things every single day, and that's one of the benefits of being in this industry and in this job.
Good morning, I'm Chief Mate Maros Al-Ihdar. Today we are going to talk about our day as a seafarer on board ship. After my theoretical education, I started my career as a deck cadet, and I worked my way up to second officer and then chief mate. Now I'm working on board a motor vessel Ida 4. It's a training ship for fresh graduate and a supplying ship for isolated lighthouse in Egypt. Every day I have two watch. My watch starts from 12 a.m. to 4 a.m. and from 12 p.m. to 4 p.m. After the second officer handing over the watch for me, I spend in every watch 4 hours. The chief officer before me, he hand over the responsibility, and we talk about our course, any hazard, any alternative course, any maneuvering, until this time, until I get all the situation. I take all the responsibility, hand over the watch for me, and then I keep my watch by watching my course, any alternative, any hazard, the weather, and after my graduation, I start working on board the training motor vessel Ida 4, and it's a supplying ship too for isolated lighthouse in Egypt, and we have a lot of cadets on board the ship, and they do their training during our watch. So we have the ability to deal with different culture and different mentalities, and this something very useful for all of us. And today I wanted to talk about all the tasks we have on board and we have in our watch. The benefits of working in maritime field are a lot. So one of them, it allowed me to travel more for sure, and it made me more responsible. After all these years, I start managing everything by better way, and even in my social life, and I feel that I'm doing something very useful. We have a massive impact in worldwide trade, and we gain a lot of experience and skills by very quickly way from each other, and this is something very impressive for me. The cadets should focus on their training year to get everything theoretical they have learned in the academy, to do it by practical way and to gain this experience on board by doing everything by themselves, and they learn more and read more and gain more knowledge. And also they have to keep themselves updated for the new technology, and read more about autonomous ship, because this is the future in maritime field.
So thank you so much to all of our speakers for their insights and advice, and we are lucky enough to have them joining us live now to answer your questions. So if I could ask them to join the stage by switching their cameras and microphones on, then we can get started with your questions. Hi, Sue.
Hello.
Hi, Captain Marwa. And hi, Yasser. So I think we're still waiting for some questions to come in from the students in the Q&A tab. However, we did have some of the students sharing with us questions ahead of time. So I do have a list of questions here that I'll get started with. So starting with Sue first, one question that came in was, could you please give an example of some ways to tackle the changing environment in the Middle East right now? And a comment here around more specifically around business with Qatar opening up again.
Yeah, sure. Hi, everybody. I think it's ever changing. The economy is ever changing, and we just have to be ready and equipped to be able to deal with any of the changes that happen. So, especially with Qatar, we've already in Saudi, we're already talking to them to reinstate the cross-border business. So it really is a case of having your finger on the pulse and making sure that you're ready to be able to anticipate any new opportunities that you have that are brought to you, and go with them and look for the, as we've said, expect the unexpected and go with the innovative solutions.
I think, yeah, very good advice. Expect the unexpected is one to live by, I think. Thank you, Sue. So next question is for Yasser. So a question here from one of our students is, what are the differences between the theory study of logistics and the work in reality?
Hi, everyone. I think the difference is to put in what you've learned in theory, to put it on the ground. Maybe the scale of the challenges and the discussions that they may have learned through the academy to an extent is real, because it comes also from real experience. And this is what's nice about the logistics. You learn the titles in the academy, and then you go on the ground and it's more or less quite close. I think the main differences would be that you'll be in the fire line, feeling the heat of these changes and having to deal with them on spot, and keep a level-headed also approach to all the situation around you, and then make the right decision. And this comes with experience. The more you interact with this kind of challenges, the more you know how to deal with it, and with the right guidance and with the right team around you, it will you'll come through, and in few years' time, each
Oh, I lost you there, Yasser, slightly. Sorry, Yasser, are you there?
Liz, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you now. So we just lost the end really of what you were saying, but I think
I'm here. Can you hear us?
Yeah, we can hear you. So while Yasser's microphone just kind of works out, I have a question for Captain Marwa. So questions from our students is, what are the difficulties you face as an officer on board a ship?
Okay. First of all, being a female in this industry, it's a challenge. So at the beginning, it was hard for me to be on board, and I think we want companies to allocate more spots for females, and planning ahead how to accommodate them on board, and introducing them to marine life in a way that fits our culture as Arabs. So this is the difficulties that like dealing with different cultures and mentalities, and founding opportunity to get your training or to work on board was very challengeable for me. And this is one of the difficult thing I faced once I entered the industry. But I get a significant support from the academy, because now I'm working on this motor vessel Ida 4, and it's training ship actually for a fresh graduate, the fresh graduate from the academy. They had to take the training on board for a year as a cadet. So the challenge, the difficult for me too, it's like dealing with the fresh graduate, and making them gain this new knowledge and new experience by practical way, as Mr. Yasser said. That it make me feel I'm responsible to make them gain this experience, as we faced this crisis, and we found that the new technology served us in this crisis. So we need to keep them up to dated, and we need to keep them like their personality and their qualities that serve the industry by good way, by the integration between the academy and the industry. We serve this. So a lot of challenge I face and difficulties, but I think after all these years I can deal with this.
That's brilliant. And I think our students will be happy to see that you've still got a smile on your face despite all of the challenges that you've faced. So that's fantastic to see. Yasser, I think we have you back now. So apologies for that slight technical glitch there. I think we got the majority of what you were saying around kind of the differences between the theory and the reality of working. And the way I understood it is really the only way that you can kind of get better at the reality is really by having experience and being exposed to kind of the working environment and facing those experiences yourself. So another question for you, Yasser, is around kind of what are the key elements to providing quality logistics services? And this is really, the questions come in specifically relating to the oil and gas industry. Yasser, can you hear us?
I think I'm not sure whether this connection is coming from you. I mean, I'm not sure if Captain Marwa and Sue can hear me well, or because I can't hear you, Liz, for a while, and now you're back.
Okay. Well, hopefully, if you can hear me now, I'll go to the question again and see if we can have some success. So the question was, what are the key elements to providing quality logistics services? And this is actually specifically relating to the oil and gas industry.
The key elements to provide, logistics services.
Yeah, quality logistics services in oil and gas.
I can only talk quality. I can only obviously talk from an EPC perspective.
Yeah.
Right now, what we look for is the know-how and the in-country know-how. Basically, the international freight forwarders that are out there providing this freight forwarding services. It's important for us to see what's their expansion and footprint in different origins in different countries, and how strong they are in those countries. So it's basically their network and how well established they are. Each country provides its own challenges, its own logistics challenges, and what we look for. Obviously, it starts from the quality international freight forwarder provides, insurances as well, and compliance as well, and then their network in country and how strong they can execute, because we're dealing with worldwide. Our supply chain, we collect from almost every country around the world, whether it's in the Far East, America, Latin America, coming to Africa, and in general GCC or Middle East. So those international players, they're well established in different countries, and they provide the international quality that we look for as an EPC to guarantee eventually successful delivery for the project to meet their schedule. I hope this
Brilliant.
answers the question.
Yeah, no, that's fantastic. Thank you very much, Yasser. And kind of moving on back to Sue, we've had a question coming in, and I know this is very topical at the moment in a lot of work that we're doing at Breakbulk, is around kind of sustainability. And the question is, are DHL doing any work with renewable energy?
Absolutely, yes. We actually have a renewables competency centre that has been set up. So there's a lot of focus, and we have one of our sectors that we have a strong focus on is renewables. So we have a sector head and a team that are looking at this all of the time. So yes, definitely something that DHL are working on.
Fantastic. I think everyone would be, excuse me, pleased to hear that. And I think we had Captain Yasser join, although I think he may have disappeared again. So we'll wait. Hopefully he'll be joining us shortly. So another question for Captain Marwa has come in from our students. And the question is, what is your favourite thing about your maritime career? And also, how do the companies motivate female mariners to work hard?
The best part is it allows me to getting out of my comfort zone and to growth. That helped me a lot to build my personality and my character. Like since I start working on board, I think my personality changed 100%, and it allows me to travel more and discover more countries for sure, and to gain this experience by practical way was like passionate for me. Like I had the theoretical education at the academy, but once I got the training on board and start working, it makes me feel that I'm doing this by a very passionate way, and I want to learn more, I want to achieve more, and I couldn't stop. Like since I get my second mate, and then I start working to gain my sea service, to get chief mate, and then I cannot stop dreaming about gaining my master ticket, and I start doing my sea time to gain this master ticket and gain and reach my goals. So to gain all this and to be through all this, it makes you growth and make you gain new knowledge and dealing with different mentalities for sure, making you and different culture, making you grow more. So I love this part about my career for sure. And about the companies that actually, to be honest, that I found that like percentage of female working on this industry around the world, it's like from 2 to 3%. So and as we said in the last session that females in this industry work as a HR or logistics, or but they don't work on board because they don't have a chance to work on board. So I think the companies can giving us spots that will motivate all the females and all the Arab females to believe that they can gain they can get a chance to gain their training or to work on board. So I think I believe that the future is ours, as after this crisis the females are more productive than men. So I believe that we will have more chance from different companies, even in Arab culture. I think that will start changing, and we will have more opportunity, inshallah.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Captain Mara. I know that I'm sure our students will very much be inspired by your words. So Captain Yasser, welcome. How are you?
Hi, apologies for being late due to technical attendance. Good, Liz, thank you.
Good.
Hi, everybody. Hope everybody is doing well.
Good. So, Captain Yasser, now that you're here, we've been kicking off with our Q&A, and we've got some questions in from the students. So, I have a good few here directed towards you. So, the first one to kick off with is: has the COVID-19 pandemic affected the recruitment policy and process at Bahri Ship Management?
Affected somehow, slightly, in the way is in the deployment, not the recruitment. So the recruitments remain the same. We have the setup of procedures and company requirements to meet, some documents check to do, background checks. That's all remains the same. The only thing is the new protocols coming up with the related to the pandemic. New protocols as per se, let's say the guys will get the COVID tests and the isolation required before they join. This was initially required by the company to come up with the recommendation as to come up with the protocols as recommended by the IMO. But now most of the companies, I mean all the countries, they already have their own protocols in place. Now it's impossible to travel anywhere else without PCR. So affecting the recruitment, no.
So it's more just the kind of the process and the requirements from the legal side of things, rather than the internal process with you at Bahri.
Yes, just the deployment, just another extra step to do before the deployment. That's it.
Sure. Thank you very much. And we do now have some questions coming in, I can see in our Q&A tab here. So I'll move over to here now. So the first question is for Yasser. And the question is, what jobs do you offer for marine engineers? Do you offer training for undergraduate students?
We have a cadetship program, but we don't have sponsorship. Is it for me or Yasser?
Sorry, it's for Yasser at Petrofac. Yeah.
Okay, Captain Yasser, of course, you can take the lead on this. We have our own academy for undergraduates, especially focused on the national content in general. We used to, let's say, pre-pandemic, we used to also accept some internship. To be more precise, to the marine engineers in general, we have within logistics something what we call is a subject matter specialist, because at the end of the day, we're a sub-function from the supply chain overall as an EPC. So the transactions really is dependent on our service providers. So we sublet these services, the actual execution of the job, to freight forwarders and the carriers, the liners, etc. However, there is a big element that has to do with the engineering to verify the quality that we receive from our service providers to ensure eventually safe delivery of our cargo. So to be more precise, for a graduate in a marine engineer, as a marine engineer, he's probably best off getting his training and exposure and practical exposure with those companies who have hands on ground before they reach to a level where we need more of a consultancy, which we do have within our logistics department as a Petrofac. What we call as subject matter specialists, so they can verify the work rather than training them to do the job.
Brilliant, thank you, Yasser. And Captain Yasser, just back to you, I think, with the same question, because I think it's interesting from Bari's perspective as well, around kind of how they go about finding work and whether you take on, excuse me, graduates.
Yes, the slots are available for everyone. Okay. However, a sponsorship is not there. But we give a chance to whoever wants to join us and get trained on board, get the required sea time. Apparently in 2020, the cadet deployments in all over the world has been slowed down because of the pandemic. So there's nothing per se towards because of they are being cadets, but most of the interest of the companies and the government and the organization went to the seafarers themselves. So everybody were concentrating about the seafarers, the masters who are on board, and trying to find relievers with them. So in that view, the cadet has been slowed down. But the slots are available if they want to join. And I think we have a very big list everywhere. Sadly, not all the companies are offering cadetship or chances for the cadets to join on board. But we urge the companies and everybody, because this is, if you want the industry to move, these are our future. So we have to prepare these cadets and these junior ranks and the new generation to take over in the near future.
Brilliant, thank you, Captain Yasser. And just for the students' kind of reference, is the best information or the best place to go to find information would be your website, would it? Bari website for these opportunities?
Yes, they do directly put it on Bahri website. They can anyone send to the emails in Bahri websites. It gets directed to us once they receive it. There is also a lot of activities on online where I think the Tradewinds and LinkedIn, we are approachable and they can approach us anytime. Also, we have a big number of manning agencies around the world. And in the market, I think the big companies, they are very well known.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. Thank you both, Yassers, for your responses there. I think the students will be really pleased to hear that information. Coming back to Sue, actually, and I know this is a very topical question here. So we've had a question, actually. So when vaccines came into the picture, was it difficult to arrange the transportation, as they obviously require minimum temperatures and are really sensitive to handle?
Yeah, so as you say, very topical. We've always operated a temperature-controlled air freight and ocean freight solution. But yes, we have to look at each product individually and the requirements, and then work with the airlines to make sure that we can make sure that they get from origin to destination in the right way and unfold so that they can be administered as soon as possible. So yes, it was a challenge, but something we're very proud that we've been able to do.
Yeah, and thank you to DHL for all your efforts, because I know it's a big job behind it, getting them to all the locations that they need to be. So thank you so much for that. And I think this question really is for everyone. So maybe if we start with Sue, as we have you now kind of on voice. So how to increase job opportunities in the field? So everyone knows that finding work in light of the coronavirus pandemic has become difficult. So do you have any kind of thoughts behind that in general, increasing job opportunities in the sector?
I think it's really a case. I mean, DHL have tried wherever possible during the pandemic to retain as many staff as possible, and we're very proud to have been able to do that in many cases. I think we have to look to the future, and we have to be adaptive to change. So when we look at this and we look at which people talk about going back to normal, well, is it normal? Is it a new normal? Is it the next normal? Where are we going to be? So I think it's looking at the strategy, looking at where we want to be and how we need to focus, but to also be brave and make that make the investment so that we can expand for the future. But definitely, it's something we're still trying to encourage, bringing new talent and also developing the talent that we have in-house as well.
Brilliant. Thank you, Sue. And moving over to Yasser Al-Yassin, the same question really from the EPC side of things. How do you think we can kind of increase job opportunities in this challenging time for students looking for new roles in the industry?
Excuse me. Just to clarify something, students need also to know that it's not them who also looking for opportunities, but we as an EPC business or as any other business, we look for students, fresh graduates, who has the right approach and who has the right enthusiasm towards the work industry in general. As an EPC, we look for all different kind of students, fresh graduates. As I mentioned earlier, we actually had our own graduate academy where we prepare those young generation to smoothly transfer them into the actual actions and work life. To answer the question precisely, it's not. I mean, it's tough times now globally across all different fields and different businesses. For logistics, actually, somehow it's more busy these days. But as a business globally, they're not probably in the best time now or shape to increase opportunities, rather than look at sustainability to begin with. Put on the survival mode and pass through these tough times until the next good wave, let's say. We can't say these days positive, because positive not necessarily means good news these days if someone has positive results. What we can do is to continue to look for these young talents and spot the quality that we are looking for, and have somehow a win-win situation with those graduates or fresh graduates or even undergraduates, where they can learn and get ready until it gets busy again, to basically come across into into the work. Doing the best will be the first to join.
Brilliant. Thank you so much, Yasser. I think coming back to Captain Yasser, we've got an interesting question coming in the side. So how does the pandemic affect the maritime industry, and does it impact the process of learning for maritime students?
As I said, the deployment of cadets has been impacted worldwide last year. Currently, it's coming back slowly, and basically because of the travel restriction, nothing more, only the travel restriction. So most of the companies, they were trying to avoid putting the young cadets into trouble while traveling from their countries to the ships, or from the ships and back to their countries, where they might be stuck somewhere. For example, some of the cadets, it's his first time on board, and his first time to travel to a ship or back from a ship. So it was impacted last year. Thankfully, this year we start seeing the cadets going back on board. The learning, apart from the guys who are not being deployed, I think some of the colleges started to go into the next courses. So they postponed the C phases and postponed it to the next year. And now we have a big list of cadets who are waiting to be deployed, and most of the companies now already created their lists and the plans for deploying the cadets, which is understandable. It puts actually the companies and also the colleges in a very awkward situation when they have a lot of the cadets wants the sea time, where the sea time actually requirement is a must.
Brilliant. Thank you so much, Captain Yasser. Appreciate it. We hosted a Women in Breakbulk session this morning, and I think our question to Sue coming next kind of relates quite nicely into that session as well. So question to Sue is, women are often known to face challenges in the business arena, especially in a country like Saudi Arabia. Being in top management there, what advice would you give to upcoming Arab women leaders?
Hi,
That's a lovely question. Thank you.
Really, really lovely question. I think the industry and culture has changed considerably in the past few years. I've worked in Saudi, especially for the last 7 or so years, and you can see the change in the emancipation of women in industry there. So I think companies are looking at diversity and inclusion more now, and I would say be strong, follow your dreams. A lot of the limitations that women face now are actually self-limitation rather than the perception that there is a limit. Yes, there is still some work to be done, but I believe we've in the management team in Saudi, we have 3 Saudi ladies, which is fantastic, and we encourage that. So I would say really be clear on where you want to go, focus, don't take no for an answer, and reach out to people who, or personally reach out to people who will support you in terms of mentoring, in terms of if you've got challenges, and just ways to address them, but stay positive and be brave.
Thank you, Sue. Great words and very inspiring for the women students listening in today. I think we're kind of coming to wrapping up here. We have a couple of questions that we haven't got around to answering. So what we'll do, if our speakers are okay with it, is we can share these questions afterwards and create an article to share with the students around opportunities, where to look for these opportunities, so they can have that information a bit more ready to hand. But just before we finish, I think if we could go round one last time, starting with Captain Yasser, just some final words of kind of advice and wisdom for the students listening in today for the next stage in their career.
Hi. Okay. So sad it's gonna finish too early, but anyway, we always here to support everyone. We always around. The company is approachable, and I think this is also from the colleges. You can approach the college. Nobody is stopping you if you want to continue. Everybody will support you, as one day we got the same support from our families, our mentors. We all worked in the great companies. To get at the end there is, it comes at a price, okay? It's not easy. Nobody is saying it's easy. This is from day one. You will need to have the support from your families, the support from your spouses, your husbands or your wives, your children as well. At the end, you will get somewhere. Nobody is in a place where he is without support. So you're not gonna do it alone. You will get supported. You will get supported by somebody during your career. So accept the support, and it's challenging tasks, and one day you will make it. And we hope to see you soon in our fleets and leaders in the industry.
Thank you, Captain Yasser. Thank you very much. So moving on to Yasser Al Yassin, final kind of words of wisdom and advice from you for our students.
I would just say stay optimistic, and I will reiterate what Sue has also mentioned. The limits, most likely, most of the time, we put limits to ourselves, but in reality, I take Captain Marwa as an example, very inspiring example. She's probably in the toughest field for men to be at. And yet we see successful young women in that field. So everything is possible, and really the sky is the limit. Just untie the limitation that you have for yourself, and the opportunities are there. Take the challenge, reach your potential. That's what I would say.
Thank you so much, Yasser. And Captain Marwa, we have you back, which is fantastic. We were just going around after answering some really, really interesting questions and mentioning that we'll publish an article kind of with more responses to those questions, but just really some final words for our students from you, some wisdom advice for them to take with them for the next stage of their career.
I'm not sure if you can hear me or not.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Perfect. Okay. My advice to my seafarers colleagues and females that will get in this industry, that believe in yourself and never let anyone make you give up in your dreams. Always keep fighting and keep a positive vibe and support each other and keep supportive to other women in this industry. It will help you to grow us too. So keep learning, and in our industry, that you have to keep updated and keep keep learning new technology and new methods that will keep you up to date and will give you more opportunity and more chance to have a training or have a place on board the ships. So keep working in yourself and never give up in your dreams.
Thank you so much, Captain Marwa. Very inspiring words for the students. And finally, over to Sue, just your final words for the students today.
Thank you.
Thanks. I would say this is such a fantastic and exciting industry to be in. So really do follow your dreams and ask questions, never stop learning, and just stay focused. Look at where you want to be and set your plan to be there. And there are lots of people who are around and who are willing to actually help you on your way. So it's just asking the right questions and just build a network, but never give up. Be brave and take the opportunities that are given to you.
Brilliant. Thank you so much, Sue. So thank you so much to all of our speakers today, and a massive thank you to our audience who have provided some fantastic questions which have sparked some really interesting discussions, which I'm sure will continue beyond this webinar today. So we hope that you've enjoyed this session and hope that we will be able to host Education Day live in person at Breakbulk Middle East in 2022, which will be held on the 1st to the 2nd of February at the Dubai World Trade Center. So as mentioned, this session will be available on demand on our website, and do feel free to contact me if you have any further questions at all. My email address can be found in the chat box. So we hope to see you all very soon, and take care. Thank you very much.